Here at Lavalab, we're testing the Roborock Qrevo Edge, and in this video, we'll give you our honest opinion. And if you're interested in this product, we've put a link with the best price right below the video. This robot measures 35 centimeters in diameter and is 10.4 centimeters high. This height prevented it from going under some furniture, but it did manage to vacuum under our pipes and radiators during our tests. Its side brush and right mop are both equipped with an extendable arm. An auxiliary LED light is also present on the front to light up dark rooms. We noticed a few design differences compared to other robot vacuums we've tested. First, the side brush only has 2 bristle zones instead of 3. Second, the mops have longer and thicker bristles than average. This change might seem minor, but we think it has a big impact on wet mopping performance, as we'll see later in this test. The main brush roller is split into 2 parts. This helps prevent hair and fur from tangling. Finally, the robot has a chassis that can lift by 10 millimeters or flexibly raise the front, back, left, or right sides. This allows it to cross thresholds of 3 to 4 centimeters in height, or at least in theory. When it comes to cleaning or changing its various components, everything is pretty simple. The mops are magnetic and the pads attach with Velcro. The main brush is just as easy to remove and put back. However, you'll need a screwdriver to replace the side brush. To move around, the robot relies on its omnidirectional wheel and its 2 main wheels. Under the hood, you have access to the dustbin. The dustbin also includes a filter to avoid releasing dust back into the air. Every time the robot returns to its dock at the end of a cleaning cycle, it empties automatically. According to the brand, the dust bag in the dock can hold up to 7 weeks of dust. Note that a bag is already installed upon purchase and a second bag is provided in the box. The dock also includes a clean water tank and a dirty water tank. It refills the robot with clean water and cleans its pads after each wash. During our tests, we timed that emptying the dust took 20 seconds and cleaning the pads took less than 3 minutes. Drying the pads with hot air at 45 degrees can be set to 2, 3, or 4 hours. We can confirm that the pads came out very clean after this process. To finish with the design and maintenance point, we should note that at the time of this test, Roborock has not yet released a repairability index. Replacement parts are available online with the Qrevo range, but they aren't specifically dedicated to the Qrevo Edge. So much for design and maintenance. Now let's move on to features. The robot has 3 classic buttons, the one to start cleaning, the one to return to the dock, and under the hood, the reset button. When turning it on, we quickly connected the robot to Wi-Fi and the Roborock app. This app is quite complex. We found that the many options weren't very well structured. Despite that, it's true that it's one of the most feature-rich on the market. Cleaning can be set to Smart Plan, Vacuum and Mop, Vacuum, and Custom. The first mode gives the robot free rein to manage the designated room as best as possible based on the detected dirt and environment. The Custom mode, on the other hand, allows you to create sequences and schedule what type of cleaning you want in each room. You can also choose from 5 suction power levels, 30 water flow levels, the number of passes, and the path. During cleaning, the robot displays the elapsed time, the number of square meters cleaned, and the remaining battery percentage. Once mapping is complete, you can select a specific room, perform localized cleaning, set up no-go zones, insert impassable thresholds, or set up invisible walls. Rooms can be divided or conversely merged. Furniture is available to recreate your home as accurately as possible. The map generated this way can be viewed in 2D or 3D, and in total, the app can store up to 4 maps. Just like other models in the Qrevo range, other settings are available. Cleaning history, scheduling, floor configuration, dock settings, obstacle avoidance, and component maintenance. The camera also allowed us to manage the robot remotely, even when we weren't on site. It can then detect intruders and take photos of your pet. You can also create a patrol by placing key points on the map for the robot to reach. On top of that, we were able to set Do Not Disturb times, activate the child lock, and set a charging time slot. Of course, remote control, language settings, and volume control are also available. As with the Qrevo Master and the Qrevo Slim, which we also tested, the Qrevo Edge features its own voice assistant. So in addition to being able to rely on Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, and the Matter protocol, you can simply say,
"Hello, Rocky."
followed by your command.
Vacuum only.
I'm starting to vacuum.
We found that it worked quite well. Enough theory, let's get down to business with our performance tests. The robot only needed 19 seconds to complete the first mapping in our 11 square meter area, which is very fast. To map our first floor of about 70 square meters, the robot took 9 minutes. However, it got stuck in one spot and didn't fully finish mapping since a bedroom was missing. But instead of signaling that it was stuck and needed manual help, the robot assumed it had finished the map. In an open space, navigation was flawless. However, when the robot faced a cluttered room, navigation was less methodical. It did end up going everywhere, but it took several back and forth trips. To find its way around, the robot has various sensors: a LiDAR tower on top, an AI obstacle recognition sensor on the front, a dock locator, a wall sensor on the side, cliff sensors, and a carpet sensor. To test all of this, we placed various objects in our 11 square meter test room. The robot was able to detect, photograph, and identify a cable, a shoe, and an armchair. It went around them without touching them. It didn't even try to climb onto the sled base of the armchair. However, it neither identified nor photographed the backpack, the stuffed animal, the ball, and the plant. The robot was able to detect, photograph, and identify a cable, a shoe, and an armchair. It went around them without touching them. It didn't even try to climb onto the sled base of the armchair. However, it neither identified nor photographed the backpack, the stuffed animal, the ball, and the plant. The ball and the stuffed animal were both touched and pushed a bit. The backpack was bypassed, but the straps were completely ignored. In a more specific test, we placed fake dog poop in a smaller space. The robot only identified and photographed the obstacle half the time, but fortunately it bypassed it well every time. As for cliffs, the Qrevo Edge detected them well at the top of stairs and over a 7.5 centimeter threshold. The 4 centimeter threshold climbing feature was a failure for us. The robot failed to climb over elements of this height. It didn't even try to cross the sled base of our armchair. Yet we made numerous attempts. These results are clearly disappointing. For such a budget, we expected something flawless. For the rest of our tests, we measured the robot's vacuuming performance. We placed coffee beans, rice grains, salt, hair, and dog fur in a 1 square meter area. Here are the results we got on a hard floor using Max Plus mode and 2 passes. With 25 grams of coffee, it vacuumed 96%. With 50 grams of rice, 98%. With 50 grams of salt, 95%. With a few hairs, it was highly effective. No hair was left, and with a few clumps of fur, there was just 1 clump left in a corner. Next, we did the same on a low-pile carpet. With 25 grams of coffee, it vacuumed 99% after 4 passes. Actually, there was still a lot left after 2 passes, so we did a second pass after which only 5 grains remained. With 50 grams of rice, it vacuumed 98%. With 50 grams of salt, our most difficult test, it vacuumed 64%. A lot was left deep in the carpet. With a few hairs, only a single hair was left, so a pretty good efficiency. And with a few clumps of fur, very good efficiency. No clumps of fur were left. On hard floors, AI recognition unfortunately caused problems. Many items were identified as obstacles or pet waste. As a result, performance was impacted because the robot avoided entire areas. That's a shame, since the 18,500 pascals of suction power on this model are clearly effective. We were particularly impressed by the salt cleanup. The 2-part duo divide brush didn't accumulate any hair during the tests. A few pet hairs did wrap around it, but these results were much better than with many other robots. To test mopping performance, we made dried mud and dried coffee stains. With the dried mud stains, we rated it 5 out of 5. All stains were removed in places where the robot passed at least twice. And with the dried coffee, we also rated it 5 out of 5. All stains were removed when the robot passed. The robot was able to clean both different dried stains very effectively. However, navigation failed it in 2 corners. As a result, 2 dried coffee stains remained in those spots. It also mistook one of the coffee stains for an obstacle to avoid, but it ended up removing it later. As for carpet detection, we were convinced. The robot raised its mops early enough to avoid getting it wet. It also waited until it was completely back on the hard floor before lowering its mops. Regarding operating noise, here are the results obtained using our sound level meter positioned 1 meter from the device. In quiet mode, it emitted 52 decibels. In normal mode, 54. In turbo mode, 55. In max mode, 58. And in max plus mode, 60 decibels. Given its high power, this robot is very quiet no matter which mode is activated. Emptying was also quieter than average, peaking at 69 decibels. Mopping pad washing, on the other hand, emitted 47 to 60 decibels. And finally, drying the mops is quite quiet at 40 decibels, but not to the point where you can comfortably stay in the same room while it's happening. Finally, let's finish this test by evaluating battery life. This robot's battery has a capacity of 6,400 mAh. To test its battery life, we had it vacuum an 11 square meter room and checked the percentage of battery lost on a standard run. With vacuuming in normal mode, it lost 6% battery, which gives an estimated battery life of 3 hours and 54 minutes or 366 square meters. And in Max Plus vacuuming mode, it lost 11% battery, giving an estimated total battery life of 1 hour and 50 minutes or 200 square meters. In normal vacuuming mode, we conclude that the Qrevo Edge offers excellent battery life. As always, it's reduced at full power, but these are still very good numbers. In terms of charging, Roborock mentions a 100% battery recovery in 4 hours. During our tests, we noted that the robot had recovered 7% in 20 minutes. Brought back to 100%, that actually works out to about 4 hours and 45 minutes. As always, the device returned to its dock when it finished cleaning. It's also capable of returning there when its battery is too low and then resuming cleaning where it left off after charging sufficiently. Thanks to all of this, it can handle any size home. And that's it for our test results. To sum it all up, the positive points of the Roborock Qrevo Edge are highly effective wet mopping, a brush that doesn't accumulate hair and pet fur, powerful and effective vacuuming where the robot moves, controlled noise despite its power, good carpet detection and management, and very good battery life. As for the negative points, the technology for climbing small thresholds is not up to par. The AI detection and obstacle management are also imperfect, and vacuuming performance is impacted by the poor AI. And that concludes our test. Thank you very much for watching. As a reminder, you'll find the link to this product with its best price right below the video. And if you like honest vacuum reviews like this one, feel free to subscribe to our channel.